None of you saw that. None of you saw that stream. None of you saw that. Bro, I swear to God, if it crashes again, I'm punching this. Ah! I hate OBS. I hate it. I hate OBS. I hate it. I hate OBS. OBS more like OB. Screw OBS. Ugh, damn it! Now I gotta do all this again. See, OBS, this is what you're doing to me. This is what you're doing to poor old Bernie Bear. Okay. Now I gotta do all this again. Now I gotta do this. I gotta do this. No one's gonna show up now. Stupid OBS. I hate you, OBS. Bro, again, it's like every book stream. Ard, I'm sorry. You were right. You were right, Ard. My internet died. Poor, yeah. If it doesn't work again, I'm just gonna cancel. But hey, I'm gonna stick with it. What do I even... Take 2. Damn it. Damn it. Bro, now I feel bad. Damn it, now... Damn it. Take 2. Damn it, now I'm actually really annoyed by that. I prototype. Dude, we had Glitch in here. Glitch is awesome. Now Glitch is gone. Dude, that's like if... Man! Okay, whatever. Back to the R tier list. So before we get into the actual FNaF books tier list, I don't know. Damn it. Before we get into the books tier list, I promised Ard we would do a tier list of all the images he's made of me. Yeah, alright. Alright. Where we left off. So, this image is of the Fun Time Phantom Foxy Kills Everyone video gang. Also, if the stream lags again, can you guys let me know? I don't want it to crash again. So, this is a fine image, you know. I would say it's Bernie Bear tier. Not as good as some of the other ones, but not terrible. This one, you know, it's Phantom Foxy, but I think the next one beats it, so this one's D tier. This one's gonna go B tier. It's iconic, you know. Bernie Bear with Phantom Foxy, the Phantom Foxy. This one, God, I forgot how weird I looked with long hair. This one's C tier. Skirty hat, you know. This one, the white borders aren't supposed to be there, it's just the way the image cropped. This one's funny, though. It's stretched as Bernie. This one... the Freddy Duck. This one is the Freddy Duck on my head. This is a good one. It's, you know, for when you're feeling silly. I'm gonna put that A tier. This one, blurry, but, you know... Yeah, this one, forgot to loop that. Oops, no, this one's sad. We don't want sad, we want funny. Okay, so then we got this one. This is a good one. I like this one. This one's, when the camera fell, that one's going into S tier. What does this say? Please help, oh, please, Ard, I need this. My mom's kind of homeless. This one's good. This one's good. Funny, referencing another meme. This one, you know, I don't know, the skirty hat ones just don't do it for me for some reason. I don't know. I'm gonna move this up to B tier and move this one down. This one, you know, it's, this is a decent one. C tier. This one, this is probably my favorite one. Bernie and Caroline just looking at the camera like, I like that one. Oh, you're Nightmare Chica? Dude, you've gone by so many familiar names and faces. I understood the reference. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the individual ones. No offense, obviously. This is just for fun. I'm just I'm not saying anything. I'm just doing this for fun. This is a generational one. This is iconic. Everyone and their mother knows this one. Absolute Cinema. This one's also really good. This one's good. It's showing the gang, the Faz gang. This one's gonna go with his brothers. This one's pretty much the same. I think I accidentally downloaded it twice. Hi Glitch, welcome back. This one is... God, I got a long ass nose. This one's Byard, it's gonna go with Highard. This one's another Phantom. And then this is Unk Bernie Bear, taken moments before the stream crashed. This is... Okay. Alright, there's the tier list. Yeah, they are the same pick. Here, I'll take out the other one. Never mind, it won't go. It doesn't want to go, hang on. There we go. Here it is, the official Ard's Bernie Bear Pictures tier list. Peak. Thank you, Ard. Everyone say thank you to Ard for putting all the images together. Now let's get into the real tier list. Alright. Bittersweet sedation time. Oops. So, I came up with this idea in the shower this morning, which is why the stream's a little iffy. We're going to go through all of the FNaF books, well, not all of them, but, you know, most of them, and the stories, to see which ones would be the best games. Obviously, you know, Into the Pit and The Mimic don't count, because those already have games. And we'll see what I'm going to do with the week before. Return to the Pit won't count either. I know someone's making a fan game of the week before, so maybe it should count. But everything else... we're gonna include. What is with this ad? Am I lagging? The video buffered a little bit. I'm a little... Yeah. Bro. Stop. Are we good? Okay, it says we're good. Bro. Dude, I swear to God. If it... I really want to do this stream, but if it keeps acting up like this... I know... When we did the tier list of, like, the books, like, the stories, it was the exact way, it was the exact same. It just kept crashing. Like, I don't know what's the FNaF books. The FNaF books keep crashing my shit. Okay. We're gonna carry on. If anything happens, please let me know. Return to the Pit should be out too? Yeah. Yeah, we're not counting these three. Just everything else. Okay. Let me know if this stream dies again. Let's just get into this. So, the novel trilogy. We're going to do each one individually. So, Silver Eyes. I think the Silver Eyes is... A or S tier. A or S tier. Really, I think there's a lot of potential with the ending of the story. You know, them confronting Afton in the FNaF 1 building. You know, you can have some, I don't know. Yes, Project Box. I was going to bring that up with the Twisted Ones, but yeah, Project Box. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was this really old fan game based on the books that got canceled, but someone's working on bringing it back. They released like a demo or something a little bit ago. It looks really good. Had a lot of potential. I really do think the Silver Eyes trilogy has a lot of potential for like future stories. So Silver Eyes is A. Twisted Ones, I'm gonna put B tier. I think it would be good if they expanded on the Twisted Ones, right? Kind of like how Into the Pit expanded on like the original Into the Pit story doesn't feature the animatronics in like as present of a way as the game does. I think if the Twisted Ones, if it were to be adapted into a game, I think if they give the Twisted Ones more of a role, obviously they have a role in the story, the book's about them, but if they have them as like a constant, persistent threat that you have to deal with in different ways, I think that would be really cool. The fourth closet, I'm tempted to put this into D tier. This one, more so than the others, I think is... I don't know. There's just something about the fourth closet that I don't see working well as a game. You know? Just because it's just a... I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm not saying it has no story. Obviously it has a story. But I just don't know how well that story translates into game form, you know? That's where I stand on it. Alright, Fazbear Frights. To Be Beautiful. We kind of got a glimpse of that and Count the Ways and Fetch in Into the Pit. See, it's weird. Let's assume that all of these games, all of these books are being turned into games by MegaCat. Let's assume they're being made into MegaCat games. At least for Fazbear Frights. We'll get to Tales. I think To Be Beautiful is C tier. There's a lot of villain potential with Eleanor. And you can tie it into the Stingers, you can tie it back to Into the Pit, you can tie it back to a lot of stuff. But unlike Into the Pit, there's no real, like, catalyst for the events other than Eleanor. If that makes sense. Oh god, Ard, I saw you sent that emoji. Stop it, Ard! Stop it! Stop it! Bad boy, bad! Yeah. Count the Ways, I would say, is D tier. Just... I think that would have to be more of, like, a psychological game more than anything. Yeah. Glitch, I agree. To Be Beautiful would have to connect into the Stingers. Definitely. Fetch? We know this one's most likely coming. So I'm going to put that into S tier. I can really see... I can see Fetch being a great game. On the same level as Into the Pit, to be honest. You know, having to, like, find Fetch, stop him before he does, Mexican stream? What Mexican stream? What? I don't know. Yeah, I think Fetch is going to be a great game. Yeah. Yeah, Count the Ways is... I don't know. Count the Ways is such a weird one, because it doesn't have, like, as much action. You go through the player's memories leading up to being trapped. That would be a good one. And, you know, again, that would tie into the Stingers. And, like, really, I think the majority of these Fazbear Fright stories would work best as, like, mini-games in a Stingers game. Maybe not on the same level as Into the Pit, where, like, they're very basic, but, like, if we had a Stingers game, and if we had a Stingers game, they would be broken up into different sections, right? At the end of the game, you'd play as Jake, and you'd be able to go through all of these stories, or maybe as part of the canon ending, like Into the Pit, you can go into each memory, see each story, play through a little bit of it, and that's how you get them. I think that's a really good idea. Lonely Freddy. I think this one's D tier for sure. I'll move Count the Ways up to C tier, just because I kind of see it. Lonely Freddy, I don't think would be all too good. You know, it takes place at a Freddy's, which would be nice, but it doesn't have the same action that, like, Fetch does or Into the Pit. Out of Stock, I think is easy S tier. There's a lot of potential with this. Same with, like, Fetch, but especially, like the idea of, like, going up against the plush trap chaser in a house. You can have different perspectives with all of Oscar, I think, with all of his friends. You can build up to the plush trap. You can have it, like, you can have the mall or whatever be, like, a location. I think this one would be really good. And again, it's a Stinger story, which is good. 1:35 a.m. A tier. I think you can play a lot with, like, insanity, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not ignoring chat. I'm reading you guys, don't worry. What's it called? Yeah, so the 1:35 a.m. could be good if you have, like, an insanity meter. I think that would be a cool idea. And plus, this is another story that Eleanor is presumably behind. So I think that would be good. You could have her as an antagonist. Room for one more? I mean, that's kind of sister location, but... if they were to make a Room for One More game, I think they would have to expand upon it greatly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Glitch. It would literally just be the private room against the mini arenas. They would have to expand on it. And I was thinking, right? We know you're insane. True. I think if they were to expand on Room for One More, they would have to make it so the fun times are there. And I know that goes against the whole premise of the story. You know, it takes place after Sister Location, and they're all gone. But I think that's the only way you can make this game interesting. So I'll put it S tier. I'll agree with you, Glitch. But if they didn't make changes to make it more interesting, it would suck. Easily. The New Kid. I really like the New Kid. I think it has a great location. You know, the old Freddy's. But this one doesn't really have a threat. Like, Kelsey is... He is kind of the main antagonist of the story. But he's not an antagonist you can make a game about. This is one that would work, like, perfectly as, like, a minigame. What's the New Kid? So it's about these kids at school. They meet a new kid who's basically an apparition of the spirit inside of the body inside Golden Freddy. That's the best way I can explain it. Rolo Polo Solo Borolo YOLO. Bravo. Yeah, there's potential, but they would have to make great changes to it. Step Closer. Kind of the same way. Yeah, I think I would agree with S tier. I can easily see like a perfect epilogue for this game, or sorry, prologue for this game, where you visit Freddy's, get cursed by Foxy. I would hope, if they were to make this a game, that they would include the animatronics a little more in it, or even have Eleanor be there, because she's behind the curse, I think. Really, Step Closer was the book that made you like the books? Damn, that's cool. Yeah, this one has potential. This one has potential. Dance With Me, I'm going to put in B tier. Just because Ballora is an active threat, and it's Eleanor. So that's good. It has a lot of locations, which is very good. I think they just have to change it up a lot. But this Dance With Me could work. Coming Home. Yes, I think it would work for the same reasons that Out of Stock would work, right? Where it's an animatronic inside of a home. They're being chased by the animatronic. You have to find Susie's doll. I think that could work. Ooh, Prototype. I like that idea. Of, like, maybe not like an actual chase, but, like, maybe dream sequences of, like, Foxy. That would be really cool. I like that. At February 26th, at 5 in the morning, Bernie Bear will be pulled into the underworld and will rest with Matt Pat. What? Yeah, Coming Home, I'll put B tier. It would be a sad game. That'd be a very sad game, actually. Bunny Call is S tier. I think that's easily S tier. Bunny Call would be a terrific game. I think they would have to expand it out. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't. It would be cool if they expanded it into Five Nights. Kind of like Into the Pit. But if they don't, that's still a terrific game. Ralpho is a very cool antagonist. And the whole setting of Bunny Call, like inside a cabin, you have to close like these trap doors, the windows, the front door. Like, that's such a good boss battle. Like, I love that. And you have to go around like the camp or whatever to like find items to maybe stop Ralpho. Oh, that'd be mwah. In the Flesh. Need I say more? The Man in Room 1280. This is another one that I think would be best as a minigame in another game. We kind of already have a game for this in Ultimate Custom Night. Yeah, it's just Ultimate Custom Night, but from an outside perspective. Yeah, this one, I feel more than anything, would be best as a minigame, right? You play as Father Arthur, maybe walking through the halls, you can, like, maybe there's a random chance you see Andrew as you're walking to the room. You enter the room, you see William, the minigame ends. I think that would be really good. Blackbird. I'm gonna put Blackbird in S tier. I think they could really cook with Blackbird. If they make him a threat that's persistent throughout the entire game, closer to the Day of Reckoning. Yeah, if they make Blackbird an actual threat throughout the entire game, that would be peak. Hi, Joey. Thank you for joining. I think Blackbird would be peak. The real Jake. Again, I feel like this one would be best as a minigame. These three would just be good minigames. I don't see how you make a game out of the real Jake. As a minigame, I think it works perfectly, especially in a Stingers game. Why is Bernie Bear looking like Henry? No, I look ugly. The upcoming Tails discussion. Yeah. I'm sorry, Glitch. Can you read what I said earlier? Wasn't there a book story where there's a shadow that haunts a kid and it's called Hide and Seek? Yes. So, it's actually the next one. Hide and Seek. I don't remember the kid's name, but it's about a kid. He gets Shadow Bonnie attached to him after raging at a game at Freddy's. And, he spends the entire story trying to get it off of him, but he can't. In the end, he goes to Freddy's to confront Shadow Bonnie and dies. And later in the Stingers, it's revealed that I think it's Eleanor. This one wouldn't be the worst. It would be a very different game. In most FNaF games, the threat is like... It's not... I mean, obviously they're persistent, but they're not, like, always there, There's yellow in your room. Congratulations, Ard. You're beating the colorblind allegations. The Cliffs. Okay. My personal biasness for the Cliffs, because I love the Cliffs. I think it's one of the most beautiful stories in FNaF. As a game, C tier. This is, like, I think there's a lot of potential with, whatever the Freddy toy is called. Like, there's a lot of locations you can explore. There's a bunch of stuff like that. The ending would be good, but again, minigame story at most. Hide and Seek would be FNaF 4 against Shadow Bonnie. Yeah, I can see that. Like, night segments where you're fending off Shadow Bonnie, and then, like, minigames like FNaF 4 where you're going to Freddy's. I can see that. Really, the Cliffs scared you? I can see that, to be honest. It's a very... When I was first reading the Cliffs, I thought it was going in a very dark direction, but I like the misdirection it took. And I think the ending is a little ambiguous, too, so I like the Cliffs. Breaking Wheel is S tier. Obviously, everyone loves this story. And I think as a game, again, just like, what's it called? Coming Home and Out of Stock, having a FNaF game set in a house where you have to fend against an animatronic is a great idea. Obviously, FNaF 4 showed that. So I think, yeah, Breaking Wheel will be a great game. He told me everything. Chat, where do we put Fazgoo? This is one that I think would have to be a minigame. Yeah, this would have to be a minigame. Hi, 1, 2, 3, oh my god. There's no way you make a full game about Fazgoo. This... yeah. Yeah. There's no way you make a Fazgoo game, I'm sorry. Gumdrop Angel. Again, this is another one that I think will just work better as a minigame. Fazgoo on you. I'm gonna Fazgoo on you, Art. Yeah. I don't see you make a... Nah, I won't say that. Never mind. Sergio's Lucky Day. This could be a fun game. This could be a fun one. Having to go around and, like, listen to Sergio. No, I think that would be a good game. A funny game. It'd be funny. What we found. Alright. What we... Chat, do we count what we found? Because what we found is FNaF 3. What we found is literally just FNaF 3. Yeah, it's just the demo of FNaF 3, but with an ending. I'm not going to count it. I'm not going to count it. I'm not going to count what we found. It's... Into the Pit is kind of the inverse of what we found. Where Into the Pit... Well, FNaF 3 has 5 nights. What we found condenses it down into 1 night. Into the Pit, the original story, is 1 night. The game expands it into 5 nights. They're pretty much the same. I'm not going to count what we found. Puppet Carver... No, I don't think Puppet Carver would be good. Yeah, I just don't think it would be good. Jump for Tickets is another minigame story. Coils the Clown isn't an antagonist in the story. I don't think. So I don't think that'd be a good game. Pizza Kit. Again, another minigame. I don't see... Like, that Pizza Kit is more of, like, a psychological story, if I remember correctly. Bernie Bear became friends with the second cutest girl in the class. God, I wish. God, I wish. Friendly Face. This one could be cool if they expand on the concept of the friendly face. Like, if instead of just, like, the cat with the face, if they have a bunch of, like, other antagonists in the game, of, like, I don't know, a dog mixed with, like, another animal. If they really lean into, like, the horrors of mixing and breeding these different things and, like, these experiments, I think that would be really cool. You can have a lot of fun with that. What's your least favorite book? Well, if we're talking, like, book, I don't know. Story, In the Flesh. It's easy one. Sea Bonnies. Together Forever. Again, another minigame one. That one, this doesn't really have an antagonist. It's just like these two girls get spring-locked in a Rosie Porkchop animatronic. I don't see how you can make a game on that. Prankster is kind of just Help Wanted. Like the prequel to Help Wanted. But I think it would be cool. Like, I'm assuming you guys know, like, those kinds of games of, like Spooky's Mansion, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, I think that's what it's called. If you have, like, different levels, and, like, there's puzzles in each level, and, you know, Glitch Trap is talking to you the entire time, you have to determine if you listen to him or not, or if you disobey, and you can have different routes and stuff. I think this would be fire. This would be a great game. Great game. Yeah, it would be a good horror puzzle game. Yeah. You had fun with Funtime Foxy. Yes, I did. Oh, sorry, Phantom Foxy. What's bad about In the Flesh? Prototype, have you ever seen that image of Springtrap with MatPat pregnant? You know, I'm going to pull it up for you. I forgot caps lock was on. Have you ever seen this image before? That's In the Flesh. Kids at Play. No. No. I don't think this one's good. Find Player 2? Yeah. Oh my god, that was last stream. Find Player 2 is an interesting one. I think if they leaned into the mystery element of it more, that would be really cool. That would be cool. The whole story, yeah, that's pretty much. Alright. Felix the Shark. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember Felix. I know there's the Freddy water park, and that's about it. I think if they expanded on the concept of the water park and kind of took ideas from where's the story? From Submechanophobia. If they combined Felix and Submechanophobia, I think that would be a great game. I think that would be a peak game. Have Felix as like an enemy at like the Freddy's water park or whatever. I think that'd be cool. Oh, Club Penguin, I had no idea you were in here. Yeah. I'm gonna move Find Player 2 up, actually. Top of B tier. Felix. Yeah, I'm gonna put these two together just because I think you can really have fun with a water park game. Don't you dare combine Peak with this slop? No. Look, okay. I don't like Felix as a story, but I think as a setting and character-wise, it's not bad. Yeah. The Scoop. See, the Scoop's an interesting one because it's about Five Nights at Freddy's. It's that weird like meta indie game stuff. But I think it works. The whole thing is like the protagonist searching into the FNaF games. They find a file that leads them on a rabbit hunt to discovering a real missing kid. I think that's a great game concept. They would just have to expand on it more. You're the Band. You're the Band, if they expand on this one, make it be multiple nights, Michael, and whatever the mother's name is. If they spend, like, multiple nights maybe trying to break into Freddy's to rescue Timmy, I think is his name. If they, like, make it multiple nights, maybe you deal with an animatronic every night, and then finally Freddy at the end, I think that would be cool. So I'm gonna put that there. Middle of A tier. Isn't the Scoop FNAF 5 ending? No, no. The title in the Scoop is referring to, like, you know, news terms, you know, like news anchors and stuff will say, we just got the latest scoop. And the protagonist in that story is investigating. They find the scoop. Finally, the Stingers. I'm putting Stingers top of S tier. There's so much potential. So much potential you can do with a Stingers game. Not only can you include every other Fright story as, like, minigames, but the boss battle with, like, Afton, even though it'd be short, and Eleanor, mwah, oh my god, it'd be perfect, perfect. Like, plus we'd get to see Larson, you'd get to play as Larson, you'd get to, you know, play as the Stitch Wraith, we get to see what Andrew looks like, oh my god, it'd be perfect. Honestly, one of the few things I really, really, really want from Fetch, I really want to know what Larson and Andrew look like. And Jake. More so Andrew. I think it would be really great if we had an official, like, 8-bit sprite for Andrew, like how we do with some of the other characters. That would be so good. Because, like, Fetch is Andrew's animatronic, really. So I really hope Fetch leans into Andrew as a character. I want his backstory. I want to know what he looks like. I want to know what he sounds like. I want all of that. Please, please, Mega Cat, I need this. Alright. Now we get into Glitch's favorite book series, Tales from the Pizzaplex. I'm not going to try to pronounce that hard. Hippotomonstriquipidelphiadophia. Fear of hippos? Yes, I don't know. Okay, Frailty. Frailty is kind of on the same level as To Be Beautiful. Kind of, in, like, their premises. Kind of. Don't kill me, Glitch! Oh, it's the fear of long words? Yes. I would put Frailty. Where did I put To Be Beautiful? Oh, there it is. I think you can have fun with this game if you lean into, like, the Eleanor aspects of it, and, like, maybe you can have, like, hallucinations of, like, oh my god, Eleanor's coming to get me. You can have that throughout the game. That'd be cool. I just don't know how you would, like, expand it. Lally's game. No, I think Lally's game could work. It's another one set inside of a house. Lally is an interesting character. You can really play with the dynamic between the protagonist and the protagonist's boyfriend or husband or whatever. Don't kill me, Glitch. I'm gonna put this A tier. What's your favorite FNaF book? Okay, well, if we're talking like books, Week Before. If we're talking stories, probably still Week Before. Week Before is peak. Under Construction? How do you make a game about super cancer? I don't think this one would work. Yes, you have the location of, like, the Mega Pizzaplex, and that would be cool to explore, but, like, all of these stories have that. Most of these stories have that. So, Help Wanted. Help Wanted's good. I just worry that it would be too similar to FNaF 4, right? Because the events that Steve Snodgrass goes through in that book do influence his games. They obviously, you know, they influence FNaF 4. I just think it would be too similar to FNaF 4. But it would be a fun game. It would be a fun, scary game. This would be a scary game. I'm going to put it S tier. But bottom of S tier just because I think it would be a little too similar to FNaF 4. Yeah, and they would have to expand on it too. Is there an order of the books that I can read from? So, there is a chronological order. At least for Frights. Tails' timeline is really hard to put together. Even, you know, Glitch can talk to this. Really, if you're trying to do a chronological order of Tails, you have to pay attention to, like, the attractions in the Pizzaplex, what year it's on. You have to pay attention to all of that. It gets really complicated. If I were you, I would say maybe try to do chronological for Frights. Tails, I would just read them as they came out. Yeah, you'd need to do tasks while surviving. Yeah, that's true. I like that idea. Haps. I don't know. I think the tubes are a cool scenery. And I can definitely see, like, chase scenes where you have to, like, try to outcrawl Haps. But I don't know. I don't think it'd be great. B7, everyone's favorite story. Lots of body horror in this game. But I think B7-2 would make for a better game. Although I guess at that point you just have to combine B7 and B7-2. So when we get to B7-2, I'll revisit B7. How bad is Haps? I don't think Haps is a bad story. I just don't think it would be a good game. Because we gotta remember, that's what I'm ranking here. I'm not ranking them as stories. Because believe me, this would be very different. We're just seeing how good they would be as games. Somnophobia. This one would play a lot with dreams. I would say, if done right, I think you'd have to expand it out from just Moon. I think you would have to bring in, like, the other Glamrocks, have them be enemies in the game. I would put this at a solid B tier. Solid B tier. Yes, Pressure. Pressure's a good one. I'm just imagining it in, like, the style of Dead by Daylight. Of, like, going around this location, Fazbear's Fright, with one person as Springtrap, and you, like, your goal is to get to the exit, but you also have to stop Earl, or whatever the guy's name was. Yeah, I think Pressure would be a fire multiplayer game. Fire multiplayer game. Do you like the color yellow? It's my favorite color. It's my favorite color. Cleithrophobia. I like the idea of... I like Glamrock Ballora, but again, like Haps, I just don't see how you make that a full game. Actually, it's a mashup of FNaF 1, 2, and 3, actually. Oh, bye, Club Penguin. Thank you for joining. Animatronic Apocalypse. Oh, Tails got some goofy-ass stories. No, so does Fritz. Fritz has more. This one could be fun. You never heard anything from a Tails book? Nothing? You haven't heard of, like, GGY or anything like that? Animatronic Apocalypse is such a weird story. I don't know. I'm putting it... Yeah, the stream's delayed, yeah. How do you fix that problem? I've tried to fix it. You have to mess with, like, the settings here. I don't know. Say hi to everyone. Okay. Bobby Dots. If you're gonna do a Bobby Dots game, you have to combine both stories, obviously. The setting of the game, the Faz Towers, or whatever they're called, that's peak. The whole twist of the Gen 1 and Gen 2s, I think that would be good. The Bobby Dots in general are really good antagonists. They're also different. You can have, like, different mechanics to deal with them. And plus, Bobby Dots lends itself to the lore of Security Breach very nicely. In between, like, dealing with the Bobby Dots, you go to the Pizzaplex, you do all the things, you see the daycare tent, you see Music Man, you see all of that stuff. You can expand on that to have, like, other stuff, you know? I think Bobby Dots would be a good game. I think it would be a very good game. Very good game. GGY. Okay, this is... When I came up with this idea in the shower, it's gonna sound weird. GGY is the one I thought of the most. I think this game, if you lean into, like... If you have it be a mystery game... I know the mystery is kind of spoiled because, like, everyone and their mother can guess that Gregory is GGY, but he doesn't use his name until the end in that story, so it might work. I think GGY could really work. Plus, you have the Glamrocks as antagonists. I know in the original story, it's just Glamrock Freddy is the only one who's kind of, like, antagonistic towards Tony, because Gregory, you know, hacked into his system. I think if you were to make GGY a game and expand on it, you could have all the Glamrocks. You could have all of the Glamrocks, like, trying to get you. I think that would be a very good game. Very good game. Yeah, and you can see, like, the starting effects of Glitch Trap. I know, you know, I don't think this would be a good idea for the game at all. But kind of like how we all expected Escape the Pizzaplex to have an ending where you free Gregory, I think if there was a GGY game, you could have a non-canon ending where you free Gregory, and, like, that's, like, the best ending, but it's not the canon ending, you know? You get to the mystery of GGY, you find out who they are, and then you free him. Not the canon ending. The canon ending is you just find out who GGY is and die. I think there's a lot of potential in a GGY game. Plus, you can tie in aspects from, like, the other stories. I think GGY genuinely might be the story I want to see a game about the most. Other than, like, Bobby Dots. I think GGY would be fire. The Storyteller. This is a weird one. This is a weird one. There is potential with Edwin sneaking into the Pizzaplex. It takes place multiple nights in a row, so you don't have to worry about, like, expanding it out. See, what's weird, though, is, like, Edwin's, like, a 50, 60, however old man. The next FNaF game. Bro, if we get the Storyteller... Genuinely, here's my hot take. I do not want Ruin 2 to be the next FNaF game. I want Fall Fest. The ending of Secret of the Mimic is just such a big cliffhanger. We need a Fall Fest DLC. You know, I think a DLC at Fall Fest 1983 or whatever, have it be, you know, like, there's a lot of potential for a Fall Fest game. Storyteller, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of how it would work with a 70-year-old man, but, like, To be fair, Help Wanted 2, Cassie's dad is old. Yeah, Glitch, I agree with that order. Fall Fest, then a Security Breach prequel, then Ruin 2. I agree 100%. Yeah, in an ideal world we get Tails. Actually, I was thinking about this in the shower too. I would love if Mega Cat does like a few more games, like Fetch, Stingers, one or two more, and then they do Tails games. Tails games? No, they do games based off Tails. That could be pretty good. Oh, hi, Party Hat. It's been a while since you've been here. Yes, Storyteller, as we were saying. A tier. Nexie. Nah. Drowning? I think Drowning could be cool. I think you'd have to expand it so it's not just drowning. I think you'd have to have, like... You can keep the idea of the protagonist being trapped in, like, the AR world. Maybe have the drowning girl go after you in, like, different areas, but that would kind of defeat the whole point of the story. This is a weird one. I'm going to put it B tier. Tiger Rock. Tiger Rock is a weird one, right? I don't hate it as a story or anything like that. And I think Tiger Rock is a good antagonist, right? It's the Mimic. It would have the same mechanics of him, of like learning your mechanics, adapting to them. Plus, the futuristic Pizzaplex is good. Lots of scenery there. Lots of ideas. Lots of lore. Plus, you know, you can have Tiger Rock hunting you, and then have segments in the real world. But again, I don't know how you would flesh that out into a full game. I think this one would work better as a minigame. You know, a minigame where you're just like in the house as Kai, you're going about your day, then you notice a clock that has Tiger Rock's heterochromia, and then Tiger Rock comes out from like a closet, kills you, minigame ends. I think that's it. Yeah, better as a minigame. Monty Within. I don't think this one works at all. Same with Bleeding Heart. These ones are a little too funky. Monty Within. Monty's not really a real antagonist. He's just inside his head. The protagonist's head. And then Bleeding Heart's just gross. Alright. I said we'd come back to it. B7 and B7-2. So, B7-2 is the main protagonist. I don't remember his name. He's been split from the animatronic form, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. The animatronic form is coming to get him and his grandma. I think that could work if they expand on it and make it not as weird of a story. Because this story is not really liked in the community, for good reason. So I'm going to put a D tier. If they were to expand on it and make it better, then I think we might have a better story on our hands. A better game on our hands. Alone Together. There's no real antagonist in this story. But I think it would work well as a game where you're like going around trying to find clues. I mean, a game doesn't have to have an antagonist. Like a FNaF game doesn't need an antagonist. Obviously it works better if it does. It's FNaF after all, but like a game where you just go around finding clues and stuff could honestly work. Plus, you can still have, like, the animatronics come after you and just not have it be real. So, Alone Together's not bad. Didophobia. Again, I don't know if we should count that one, because it's literally FNAF 4. I'm not counting that one. Monster. Everyone's favorite story from Tales. Scott Cawthon's Vent story. I'm putting this in D tier. I don't even know what the story's about. I just know they kill a man, they burn him alive, in Scott Cawthon's Vent story. Alright, lastly for Tales from the Pizzaplex, Mimic Epilogues. I'm gonna put these in S tier. Yeah, something tells me Glitch would agree with this. I think, first of all, the setting of FNAF 6, you can have some real fun with that. Again, Mimic as an antagonist. Maybe not. I don't think I would like it as much as Pressure. Yeah. I don't know if I'd like it as much as Pressure. But it would still be a pretty good game. Really? Party Hat Monster is your favorite Tales story? I'm not judging you, man, but literally, yeah, Didophobia, like, it's literally FNaF 4 mixed with Sister Location. Like, that's, yeah, Mimic Epilogue sounds like Secret of the Mimic. Yes and no. I won't go into it, but yeah. Alright, and then, finally, got through this quicker than I thought. The interactive novels. VIP. See, what's nice about these is that they're designed to be games. Like, the authors designed most of them to be games, so that's cool. VIP. Very informative pig. I think this could work. Kind of, it would be similar to, like, the GGY game. But I can see it. I can see it. Kind of. Step Closer is your favorite story? That's valid. Week Before. I don't know. This one, you could argue the Week Before is too similar to FNaF 1. But I don't think so. FNaF 1 is a sit and survive. Week Before is, like, more point and click, like, Sister Location. I think this one's good. And, you know, like I said earlier, someone's making a fan game based off the Week Before. It looks really good. So I think Week Before would be perfect. Welcome back, Ard. Just in time for the best interactive novel, Escape the Pizzaplex. No, I think if they took Escape the Pizzaplex and just reworked it to be an actual interactive novel with good, meaningful choices, good endings, kind of like, oh, what was I saying? Yeah, I think if you combine this with GGY, sort of, you could have a really good game. Like, have the lore of GGY inside of an Escape the Pizzaplex game, so Cassie, you know, every night she finds out something more about GGY, and then the ending, the canon ending, would be her freeing him. I don't know why Escape the Pizzaplex didn't do that. I love Step Closer in the Week Before. I love the Week Before. And that's it. Everything else. This has a game, this has a game, this has a game, this has a game, this has a game. Kind of. Everything else is good. That was nice. Let me take a look at something. I'm still getting used to these hotkeys. Yeah, that was good. Less than an hour somehow. I don't know how it took us 3 streams to get through the books originally. But yeah, here's our tier list. We did it. Yeah, I think in conclusion, you can see that a lot of the books would make for good games. And I hope that Megacat or someone, Steel Wool, I hope that they do make games based off these. You know, the last 2 games we've gotten have been based off the books. So it looks like they're being more open to adapting these stories, which is perfect. At the same time, there's a lot of stories that do not need to be made into games. A lot. But if they did, I wouldn't be complaining. Actually, scratch that. Yes, I would. There's a lot of books that would just be better as mini-games in the actual games. That's it. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with that. What do you guys think? Into the pit, I must admit. Nice little stream. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Again, I came up with this idea like 7 hours ago at 5:30 in the morning when showering. So, first stream thrown together pretty last minute and crashed the first time. I would say we did good. Yeah. Low-key, Escaping the Pizzaplex would be a good sequel of Security Breach. It would be a better prequel. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, like how Glitch was saying earlier. If we had, like, The next game is Fall Fest DLC for Secret of the Mimic. Then we get Security Breach Prequel, which is an adaptation of Escape the Pizzaplex and GGY. Then we go into Ruin 2. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, if you guys don't have any more ideas, I'm chill with ending stream here. This was a good stream. We got this tier list done, and the Ard tier list. Bernie Bear is in the background right now. Ooh. Yeah. Good work today, guys. Good work. I'm just waiting for chat to catch up. I don't know how to get rid of the delay. Like, I want 0 delay. I thought I had it set up like that. Like, I have it set up on YouTube to be 0 delay, I thought. How do you even... I don't know. Or is it OBS? I'm not going to mess with it. I don't want to break anything. Not when we're this close. Yeah. If you guys don't have any more thoughts or comments or anything else, I'm going to end stream. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate it as always. Glitch, if you're still here, thank you. Also, thank you for following me on Twitter. I think you're really cool. Tails Games Forever. Yeah. This stream gave me 3 new picks. Well, next time we stream, I'll update the tier list. Alright. 0 thoughts, but this was peak? Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna end stream now, guys. No, you're good. Oh my god, you're good. Everyone can say bye to themselves, and I will end stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. YouTube short on Into the Pit coming soon. Theory video coming never. I don't have any motivation to work on it. I'm just working on the short. Alright, bye guys. See you in the next video. Peace.